Major developments on the international stage in the last few days, culminating in this post here from Volodymyr Zelenskyy, which I'm very pleased to say indicates very positive steps towards peace for Ukraine. And all credit where it's due in the last few days to Keir Starmer, who's rallied 18 world leaders together in support of Ukraine in the hopes of working with the US to support Ukraine, but that had its own sting in the tail. If you've missed any of that, I will recap it very briefly in this video. But first of all, please do subscribe to the channel if you'd like an independent view on these things, as I am an independent creator and legal and news commentator, and I don't have a big media company behind me. So I really appreciate your support. Thank you so much for doing that. I do appreciate that. So I'll come back to Zelenskyy's post in just a moment. So if you hadn't heard, following that meeting, which was regrettable in Zelenskyy's words and regrettable generally, the US then paused military aid to Ukraine after the rallying by Keir Starmer of many world leaders in support of Ukraine. So this was obviously a very disastrous thing for Ukraine. But that did then sort of turn Zelenskyy around, and I'm pleased to say this now appears to be moving in a positive direction. So coming to his post here, he said that I would like to reiterate Ukraine's commitment to peace. He says, none of us wants an endless war. Ukraine is ready to come to the negotiating table as soon as possible to bring lasting peace closer. Nobody wants peace more than Ukrainians. My team and I stand ready to work under President Trump's strong leadership to get peace that lasts. We are ready to work fast to end the war, and the first stages could bring the release of prisoners and truce in the sky, ban on missiles, long-range drones, bombs on energy and other civilian infrastructure, and truce in the sea immediately, if Russia will do the same. Then we want to move fast through all the next stages and work with the US to agree a strong final deal. Now, just pausing there, of course, Zelenskyy was pressing for the guarantee of security by the US. And in fact, that's something that Keir Starmer was mentioning. And I felt that that was the sticking point, because I felt that Donald Trump really, whether you love him or hate him, I think he's in a difficult position, because on the one hand, of course, they want to support Ukraine, but at the same time, Donald Trump doesn't want to tie the US into absolute guarantees, which would doubtless bring it into direct conflict with Russia if Russia then decided to again break the ceasefire. So that is the difficult position. And of course, that's what Zelenskyy was pushing for, Keir Starmer was pushing for. And ultimately, because of that conflict, I think that is why the US withdrew support to Ukraine, effectively to force people to come back to the negotiating table. So you might consider that a risky strategy, or very clever in that it has what it seems to have brought people back to the table. I hope, and positively, I hope that's what moves forward. Reading on. We do really value how much America has done to help Ukraine maintain its sovereignty and independence. And we remember the moment when things changed, when President Trump provided Ukraine with javelins. We are grateful for this. Now, I see this as direct gratitude and thanks from Zelenskyy to Donald Trump and the United States, which some people felt was missing from that original press conference. Now, I do understand that some people felt that I was against Zelenskyy and Ukraine and blindly supporting Trump in my previous videos, but that's not the case. I was simply pointing out that this meeting didn't go as they planned. And it seems that Zelenskyy acknowledges this and is trying to make amends. So he says that he is grateful to the US for the support that they've given. He goes on, our meeting in Washington at the White House on Friday did not go the way it was supposed to be. It is regrettable that it happened in this way. It is time to make things right. We would like future cooperation and communication to be constructive. Regarding the agreement on minerals and security, which of course is what they were discussing then, Ukraine is ready to sign it anytime and in any convenient format. We see this agreement as a step toward greater security and solid security guarantees. And I truly hope it will work effectively. So you can see there, even in this post, he's still hinting towards these security guarantees, and no one can blame him for wanting the security guarantees for his country and his people. That is absolutely what you would expect of a strong leader, and Zelenskyy is showing as much. That's exactly what he's doing here. And as I say, the sticking point here is whether the US will commit to a security absolute guarantee, which would obviously bring the US into direct conflict with Russia if there was a need to, if that ceasefire was broken. But Zelenskyy says here that he now describes it as a step towards that guarantee, when he says that they see this agreement as a step towards greater security and solid security guarantees. So he's hoping that this is a step in that direction, And obviously, that is still what he wants. President Trump then acknowledged receipt of a letter from President Zelenskyy, broadly setting out the same message as in this post here, and that he's grateful to receive that letter. So I'm sure everyone is pleased to hear that it sounds much more likely now that the US is going to cooperate with Ukraine and many other countries to securing its peace. So thank you for joining me for this update. I'll keep my eye on it, and hopefully we'll get more positive developments soon. And so with that, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.